Hi there, it's Rachel from scrappinandhappy.blogspot.com with another episode of Let's Get Crafty. Today's card project features the Straight from the Nest Cricut cartridge. This used to be an exclusive to the Home Shopping Network in the States, I believe, and now it is available off the Provo Craft website. I actually ordered this and it came within 4 days to Canada. That's unheard of when I buy things online. So what I'm just going to go ahead and do is, before I make the card, is just show you where the cuts came from on this cartridge. So the first cut I'll go over is the little bird, and the little bird comes from page 29, and I used all the cuts. So I cut on a pink solid, white cardstock, and then a patterned scrap paper, and then a solid pink paper for that one. And then the little birdie told me was cut out at 1.5 inches. Now this took a few times to get the cut in the paper to cut because of the detail of it, but it did end up cutting quite nicely at 1.5 inches. Then the tree is found on page 39, and I cut it out at 5.5 inches for the size of this card, and I just used the basic button and then the shift button. And then the fence comes from, here it is, page 74, and I just cut it out using white cardstock. However, I did scale it to the size of the card for this card, so all my cuts fit accordingly, because it measures 5.5 by 7 3/4 inches to fit the envelope. What I did was create a square using George in Cricut Design Studio and got everything scaled. However, for those of you that don't have Cricut Design Studio, I went ahead and just made all the cuts, with the exception of the fence, to fit accordingly with your regular Cricut Baby Bug or Cricut expression. And this is the card that we came up with. So please stay with me to show you the step-by-step instructions of how to make this card. Okay, so for today's project, this card measures 5.5 by 7 3/4. So basically I folded a regular 8.5 by 11 paper in half and then just trimmed it at the bottom, and the rest is size. Now this paper here, pattern paper, is from American Crafts, from one of their paper packs, and I can't find the name of it at the moment, but I thought that this would be a pretty paper to use just for the scene of the card that we're making today. So we'll just put that on, centered on the page. So this pattern paper is cut at 5 1/4 by 7.5. And then the next step is to attach this grass here. So what I went ahead and did is just tore the paper, but I think just to add some interest, I'm going to go and first glue this down here. And then I'm going to go and put it through the Cuttlebug. So I'll be right back with that all Cuttlebugged. Okay, so I've just gone ahead and texturized the paper. The Cuttlebug folder that I used came from one of the Oriental packs, and it's actually a 5 by 7, so it fit this beautifully without having to do it twice. Then it just gives that nice little grass texture. Okay, so I'm just going ahead right now and gluing this down at the bottom. And then the next step is going to be to add the tree, and I want to position it nicely with the fence here, just so that we get our nice little scene. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my tape runner, just because of the detail of this and the size. I'd rather use this than my ATG gun. Okay, so I'm just going to position that down just like that. Now I've cut the fence, and that is cut just to measure the card. I measured to the card because I designed this in Cricut Design Studio because of the size, and I wanted everything to be proportioned properly. I just cut it and then trimmed it accordingly, so I don't have an official measurement for that, but the tree was cut at 5.5. The fence is just scaled to the card size, and because of the intricateness of this cut, I'm going to go ahead and use my glue pen to glue this all down. And I am a big fan of this glue pen, so it's great for the detail. And actually this card, again, is inspired by all the different videos that Sarah at Live, Love, and Scraps has done. She does beautiful scenes and puts all these coordination cards together, and I was inspired to create my own scene with the Straight from the Nest cartridge. So we'll just glue that down just like so. Okay, now this bird was cut at 2 inches, and I want it to look like it's landing on the tree. Now because of the detail of this, or because this tree was pop dotted, I cut out 2 of them, and you can see the dimensions of the pop dots there. I want to attach the bird, but I don't want to pop dot that because it's, well, actually, you know what, this is not going in the mail, so why not? So I'm just using my tape to do that. Now because the part of the bird that's going off the page is going to need a double pop, because the bird's being popped off, just so it's matching, because this elevates the bird that much higher. So we'll just put 2 pieces there, and we want to make sure that the tape isn't seen from the card, and we'll just put it like that. Did I not take the tape off? It helps to take the tape off. So I did all the cuts with this, and then added a little googly eye for the eye, and then the last part is I cut out at 1.5 inches a little birdie told me. Now because of the detail of this, I'm going to do that off camera, okay? Okay, so you can see I've gone ahead and just glued down the little quote, "A little birdie told me," and there are little dots that go with this, but at that size they just looked like tears, so I didn't bother putting those on. So the fence is all glued down, and then on the inside is where I'm going to put my sentiment. So I'm just taking my Studio G stamp and my brown Stays On ink, and stamp the sentiment down on the center. And there is a cute little card, well, actually big card, using the Straight from the Nest cartridge, and all the cuts were found using the Straight from the Nest cartridge. So thank you so much for joining me for today's project. For more inspiration and more projects, please visit my blog at www.scrappinandhappy.blogspot.com. Take care and go get crafty.